How's everybody doing this morning? If you are just hopping on or watching this replay, thank you so much for joining me. Hey, good morning. Hope all is well. I just finished a triathlon tomorrow, so I'm doing a little bit of nesting, and I decided that I was going to bake, and so I'm making a 21-day fix approved banana bread. So if you are interested, you can go ahead and watch as I go ahead and do everything here. So I'm just trying to find a place to put you in my kitchen so you can kind of see. So I'm putting you in a bowl with my avocados right now. How's that? Can you guys see okay? So one of the things that I like to do when I bake is I like to have all of my things set up, and I like to put them in an order in which I'm going to add them to my bowl so that it's quicker. I kind of like having things set up with that. And if you know anything about baking, you typically want to add your wet ingredients first and your dry ingredients second. Don't know if you knew that, but that's typically what you want to do when you bake. So I have my nice big bowl. I do have my own mixer here in the kitchen. Let me just move some things out of the way for you so you can see what I'm doing. What's everybody doing today? I'll go ahead and I'm going to break some eggs here while we're just all hopping on. Thanks for getting on. Is this anybody's first time? Just type in first time in the comments section. And if you are a returning person, go ahead and throw some hearts. I know that, oh, awesome, welcome. Well, scoping is a lot of fun. It can be pretty informational. However, sometimes there's some crazy people out there. So anyway, I like to scope about positive living. I like to scope about recipes. I like to scope about working out and living a healthy lifestyle. So please follow me if those are the things that you're interested in. And just as a recap, I'm making a 21-day fix approved banana bread. And if anybody doesn't know what the 21-day fix is, it is a workout program and portion control health and nutrition program that my husband and I started following probably about 5 months ago. And it's pretty amazing that when you learn about what portion control period, what you should and should not be eating in regards to how much, not necessarily, what kinds of food. I mean, certainly you want to put good foods into your body anyway, but portion control is pretty amazing. And you find that with that program, you end up eating more than you probably thought you would. At least I certainly did. Oops, just dropped some eggs. So I do like to, I just cracked some eggs. I do like to whisk them before I throw them into a recipe. So I'm adding in four eggs, yolks and everything. And if you watched, if you saw the title of this, I included in the title what exactly the container content is for this recipe. It's 1 purple, 0.25 red, 1 teaspoon, 1 orange, and 0.25 blue. So in 1/8 of a slice. So this whole loaf, I'm now adding 4 bananas. Which again, you're like, wow, 4 bananas, but yeah, it is banana bread. And I usually, we eat a lot of bananas in this house because we put them in our smoothies. However, sometimes I buy too many because I do travel for a living also. So when you make banana bread, you want them to be kind of, turning brown so that they're nice and mushy. So I have some brown bananas in my house, and so what to do with brown bananas? Make banana bread and make sure it's 21-day fix approved. So anyway, has anybody else heard about that nutritional program? Go ahead and just throw some hearts if you have. If not, it's fantastic. We absolutely love it. There's some new staples on our menu that we absolutely love, like a turkey. We make turkey chili now. On these lettuce wraps, they're like our favorite. So some of the secret ingredients of this particular recipe, and I'm not going to keep them secret from you. Sorry, I'm looking for my, here it is, just a rubber spatula. I'm using coconut oil. So this is I'm trying to think of how much did I measure out. 4 tablespoons of coconut oil is going to go into my recipe with 4 eggs and 4 bananas. So 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. And it asks for it to be melted, but it's pretty soft already. You don't have to, you can actually just put coconut oil close to your stove and it will get really warm. And then this is a 1/2 cup of all natural peanut butter, and I use chunky peanut butter because I like the crunch, so I'm going to put that in as well. So where's everybody from? Just while I'm going to be mixing this, I'm going to turn you over to my mixer now. Where's everybody from? I live in Virginia, but I travel for a living, so when I'm home, it's kind of a nice breath of fresh air. No. Anybody else from Virginia? I know someone on here is from New Orleans. Okay. All right, it's going to get loud here just for a moment. I'm just mixing this up. And so you want to combine your liquids really well before you add any of the dry ingredients. So we'll let that mix up for a moment while I throw out something here. All right, that looks pretty good. Minnesota, hey, how's the weather up in Minnesota? Is it getting cold yet? I know that friends of ours live in Colorado and they've already gotten snow, which is kind of crazy. Okay, so another ingredient that we're putting into this banana bread, which again is, we'll call it another secret ingredient, is coconut flour. So this is a 1/2 cup of coconut flour. So now I'm going to start adding in the dry ingredients. And I have a tablespoon of cinnamon, a tablespoon of baking soda, and a tablespoon of baking powder. Baking soda and baking powder, if your recipe calls for either one of those, do not skip those recipes because those ingredients, because the consistency of your recipe just won't come out right. So very important to make sure you add those. And I've yet to find like an organic baking powder. Or organic baking soda. I haven't tried real hard. However, you know, I haven't seen them yet. I actually looked today for it and couldn't find it. Okay, and then we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. I have a couple of different vanilla extracts. I'm just going with a generic McCormick brand. There's no corn syrup in it. It's not necessarily, you know, there are other brands where you can go all natural, so a tablespoon of vanilla extract. There's no alcohol added in this one as well, if that's something you'd like to stay away from. And this is something that I'm adding because, again, I like a little crunch. I'm adding in a blue container of walnuts. Now, that's what the blue stands for in the recipe. So I don't know the exact measurement when you cut it into eighths because you don't know exactly how many nuts are going to end up in your section. So because I'm putting in one complete blue, I'm going to say that you may end up with as much as 0.25, but you may end up with, which is a quarter of this container, but you may end up with only an eighth. So let's say it's 1/8 to 1/4 of a blue, depending on how many nuts end up in your slice. Okay, so I'm going to throw that in, and we'll just go ahead and mix that up as well. Seems pretty simple, right? And so I've already pre-sprayed just with a little bit of baking Pam, and that's considered your teaspoon because it's an oil. And the consistency should be pretty thick. I've preheated my oven at 350. So I think we're pretty good here. I'm gonna just let this sit for a moment so it could, so it comes off the mixer there. Whoever's hanging around, thanks for hanging around. And so the beginning of the title of this was that I completed my first triathlon yesterday. So today I'm kind of in a let's stay at home and bake and cook and do some meal prep for the week. I have actually a pretty busy week on the road. If you don't know that I travel for, I think I mentioned earlier, I travel for a living. So, okay, so and this is, I don't know if you've ever used these, but this is like a silicone baking container, we'll call it, not a pan. And I really like them. They're great for muffins and loaf. I've never tried them for like other things like cakes and stuff, but so I'm gonna pour this in here, and you can see that the consistency is pretty thick. And I'll just get that all in there. Smells good. Actually smells peanutty, and so one of the things that I noticed is not in this recipe, which is in a lot of baking things, is there's no salt in here. There's no added sugar, which is incredible, because if you don't know this already, bananas are very high in sugar, so you don't need to add any extra. And so I'm just going to smooth this out. Awesome. And I'm just going to pull this down out of my way. And I think the oven is preheated. So I'm going to walk over and put this in the oven. You typically want to bake in the middle of the oven. And we're going to bake this for 35 to 40 minutes. So check it at 35. You want to stick a toothpick in it, and if it looks good to go, then take it out. Otherwise, you may want to leave it in for another 5 minutes. So I'm going to put my timer on now. Okay, so I have my timer set for 35 minutes, and I'll go ahead and check it, and take it out of the oven. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I will be posting pictures and the recipe on my Facebook page at Shannon Larissa Positively Fit for Life, and I hope you get to try it and enjoy. Take care. Bye-bye.